lot. We will spend a ton of time outside walking, which brings me to shoes. Wear cozy shoes. Don't buy shoes for the trip because that won't work. Make sure the shoes you bring are comfortable, very comfortable. You might even want to bring 2 just in case it does rain. Socks, bring extra socks. The smartest thing I've seen are kids that actually put an extra pair of socks in a backpack and take them on the bus. It looks really nerdy when I saw him do it. It was genius because it rained and we walked around the mall for 2 hours and it was pouring down rain. And when I say mall, I don't mean like inside mall, kids. It's like your outside mall and it was pouring down rain. And they got on the bus and they changed socks and they were dry and I wasn't. So it was really a good idea, even though it looked like they're bringing extra socks. That's ridiculous. Good idea. Bring extra socks, pack them. It is smart, I promise. Masks. Please bring masks. I have no idea what that's going to look like over there when we get there. Everything is changing. I just don't know. So please bring masks. Different museums require them still. Different places require them. Please bring your masks. Bring a couple. It's a good idea. And sunscreen. Bring sunscreen. I will bring a bunch extra as well. I have huge quantities of spray sunscreen. I will bring several for people that forget it because my wife will be there and she will remind me. So I will have sunscreen, but try to pack your own. Spending money. Do you have to have spending money? No. Is it a good idea? Yes. You want souvenirs? Spending money is a great idea. Having refillable debit cards is the best way to go. People always kind of ask how much is a good idea. $50 will easily get them a sweatshirt and then a bunch of candy that they'll spend their money on. Could they bring more? Sure, but we typically find places for them to get souvenirs that are cheaper. We don't spend a lot of time in souvenir shops. Like when we go places, they always have souvenir shops that are extremely expensive. We avoid those. We don't spend time in those. They are a money pit. Instead, there are much better places to buy sweatshirts, buy hats, and buy cool stuff. So we'll try to at least take one small chunk of time and head to a really cheap souvenir shop so that people can go and get their cool souvenirs and then they don't have to waste their money when we go to like the mall and the sweatshirt is $45 as opposed to the exact same one you can get for $25. So having a debit card is a great idea for souvenirs. You don't have to have it. You'll be fine without it, but it's still a good idea, especially when kids want to buy other things like, well, they always buy candy and then they always give me to try it. And it's a terrible idea. See, sleepwear. You're going to have roommates, so choose something to sleep in that is comfortable, that you are not embarrassed of. My favorite are onesies. It's a good idea. I have seen 8th grade boys rock the onesies on these trips. I'm not kidding, and it's awesome. They're cool, and I know a lot of you have onesies, so might get warm, but pack something that you are comfortable wearing around other people. And that does remind me, with your roommates, plan accordingly. We're going to be getting up, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. We're going to be getting up really early in the morning sometimes, and we will be out the door. If you have several people that all are going to get up and shower in the morning, plan ahead. Go to breakfast while one person's eating, one person's showering. Think about this in advance. If you like to shower at night and somebody likes to shower in the morning, awesome. Plan that out, make those decisions. If you know your roommates, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and you're comfortable with them, it usually isn't a problem. It's only a problem when people start fighting about, I need to get in there, you're taking half an hour, we leave in 5 minutes. Make sure you plan accordingly, because we oftentimes get on really tight schedules, and this year is way tighter than I ever have because of restrictions and appointments. So if we miss an appointment, that's bad. We can't miss appointments for a lot of things we have set up. So make sure that you plan accordingly in the morning. Don't stay up too late with your roommates. I know some of you will on the first night or two, and hopefully you are exhausted and you don't, and you go to bed. There will be chaperones outside the door to bang on the doors and let me know if you are being loud at 1 o'clock in the morning. So let's see. Next thing, roommates. The roommate list is here. If you don't have it, again, I'll send it out. Roommate lists are not set in stone. I didn't give everybody's roommate lists that they wanted. So people that I did get it from, I tried to match up with at least 1 or 2 people. There are a few cases where you might look at it and be like, wait, that's not what I wanted. And those people I'll talk to, because I set it up one way and then World Strides changed it, which kind of is good because I've got an extra room. But I'll talk to you guys individually. If you look at your roommate list and you see somebody you don't get along with, or you look at it and you're like, I absolutely did not want any of those people. I don't know a single one. Talk to me. This is not set in stone. I can rearrange things to the best of my ability. We rearrange it when we get there. We've oftentimes had roommates not get along who were friends, and they get in fights and then they want to move rooms. That happens. You're going to spend a lot of time with each other. So if you look at it and it's like stressing you out, you can talk to me. We can work on it. We can fix things. It's absolutely not set in stone because I make the rooms and not the company. I'm totally in charge of that. So make sure you talk to me about it though, and I can work things out because I have to move people around, and I'll have to talk to several different people. So take a look at it, see where you're at, and make sure that you are comfortable with at least most of the people in there. If you didn't give me a list that said, here's who I want to be with, I had to guess. And if I didn't know you, I probably guessed really poorly because I don't know you. And so I just put you where I had to. So if you look at it, you don't know anybody, talk to me later. All right, let's see. Couple other things that I want to make sure I get to before I talk itinerary. Behavior. I'm not terribly worried, but we have got a big group. I have always had really good students on this trip, and we have honestly an awesome reputation through the company. And I'm not kidding. We have a really good reputation for having well-behaved students, really respectful in places we are. And I expect that where we're going. The trip is fun. It's a vacation, but places we go command respect, and we expect that from you. We've only had a few small incidents, and most of them came on one trip many years ago. It was a solid decade ago. And they got in a lot of trouble. And they got in trouble from not just me and other chaperones, but they got in trouble from authorities in DC. And I don't expect that to happen. Everybody signed, hopefully I have them here if you didn't, everybody signed the behavior waiver. Make sure if you're concerned about your own behavior, reconsider the trip. If it's not something you want to do, if you don't want to see this stuff, it's not the time to just say, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to goof off with my friends and run around Arlington National Cemetery. No, it is very respectful places. I've seen very bad behavior from other schools, and I've always been so thankful that those aren't my students that I'm taking. I've seen kids climbing up monuments and really disrespectful in Arlington and other places that command respect. I know we won't do that, but it's really important that all students traveling know what I expect from you. It's fun, but at the same time, the places are kind of our national treasures, and we need to treat them as such. There are going to be fun places too. We are going to have fun, but a lot of the places we go to, you might have to be quiet. And I mean like silent quiet, removing hats and showing clear respect in some of these places will be expected, especially places like I've mentioned, Arlington National. Those are really important moments that I expect you guys to do well. I know Centennial always has, so I'm not terribly worried about it, but it's very important to me that even though I might not travel with this company again, I don't think I'm going to travel again, I still want to leave with a good reputation for Centennial in case Mrs. Price wants to do this later on. And she's online right now, and she's probably saying, I'm absolutely going to do this. So with that, I didn't grab myself an itinerary. Let's talk about the itinerary a little bit. I'm going to go steal one from over here. Oh, so this is rough draft. We have things that are on here that are absolutes, and then there is a lot of time built in where we don't have plans yet. That once we get there, and it's one of my favorite things to do, is once we get there and I sit down with our tour guides, we discuss the itinerary and they already have it, so they already have ideas. but I'll sit down with them and say, okay, what should we do in this gap here where we're trying to get to an appointment, but we have an hour? So the things that you're seeing are the absolutes, the things that we have appointments for and are already scheduled. But there'll be a lot of other things we're going to do. So day one, right when we get there, the first thing we're really going to do is we're just going to head into Arlington. We're going to go to dinner. And then after that, we are going to go straight to Martin Luther King Jr., Franklin D. Roosevelt, and Jefferson, which those ones work really well in the evening at dusk. I love those ones. It's just going to be a walking about 2 hours, 3 hours probably. So right when we get there, it's going to be a go. And we're going to grab our tour guides and just start walking around DC. We'll probably add a few things in that night, depending on what time we finish at Jefferson. But I usually like to go to Jefferson in the evening. That's one of my favorite spots at night. And then I typically also like to go to Lincoln in the evening as well. So those, we try to kind of schedule around that. Next morning, you'll see we get up early. Breakfast, 7 a.m. It's early. I know. Some of you are probably looking at it going, wow, this is spring break. Yeah, I know. Me too. It's mine too. I don't like to get up early, I assure you. Make it to breakfast. Make sure that you are there for breakfast. We will be on the bus really early. This doesn't have our bus times. We'll have our bus times on there so that you'll know exactly how much time you have to do breakfast and get ready to go. Typically, though, I would suggest being ready to go before you head to breakfast. Get to breakfast, ready to go, and head out for the day.